welcome. All right, we have a lot of callers. I'm going to jump right in. I always hate long introductions, but I will have to say one little disclaimer. Anything that I said is not meant to diagnose or replace your medical care. Check with your doc before taking any of the advice that I'm going to give you. Okay? Steve, I think we should go right to Lily. She's been waiting patiently from Vancouver.
Let's
Are
do
you
it.
there, Lily?
Good, thank you, doctor. How are you?
Okay, go ahead, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, doctor, for answering my question. My question is, I've been diabetic for 11 years, and after I start doing the low-carb diet, I was able to bring the A1C. The last 2.5 years, I don't take metformin for my diabetes. But when I do intermittent fasting, when I skip my dinner, I have to urinate often during the night. But when I have dinner, I don't need to urinate often in the night time. So I would like to know why.
Question, how long are you doing this for? Did you just get started?
2 years, doctor, I've been doing it.
Oh,
Low
wow.
carb.
So when you fast, you have to pee more, right?
Yeah, if I skip the dinner, then I have to urinate at night time. If I eat something in the dinner time, then I can sleep throughout the night.
Okay, and what do you normally eat for dinner?
Um, I try to eat a little bit of peanut butter, which is just the organic peanut butter. But I don't normally eat dinner, doctor. I try to have my dinner early, which is around 4 o'clock. But that's salad and salmon, fish, and some vegetables. I not think carbs.
Okay. So there's a couple things that could be going on. Anytime you're urinating in the night, now it doesn't sound like this is your situation, but the best way to do it is to go low carb or do fasting normally. And then what that does, that fixes insulin resistance, and then that lowers your amount of insulin, and then that helps your blood sugars. And then what will happen is you won't urinate as much. But with your situation, if you fast and you're urinating, it just tells me there's an electrolyte problem. And I think what's happening is that you may need to increase more sodium to hold the fluid longer. So when you do fasting, you're going to be losing certain minerals. So try this experiment. Instead of having dinner, just do your one meal a day, having some salt, okay? A little salt in a little bit of water, and see if that doesn't fix the problem, because that's going to help you retain it. There's one thing that is very significant with most people when they start keto is they tend to need a little bit more salt. Okay, I'm not going to get into why, but that's definitely a factor. So go ahead and try that, and let us know if that helps you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, doctor.
You're welcome. Let's go to Marie from Connecticut. Are you there, Marie? Hello, Marie?
Yes, hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I'll jump right in. So I'm not
Okay.
having hot flashes. I don't have a uterus. It was taken out a couple years ago. But what supplements or something should I be doing to prevent the weight gain? I am trying to do keto. But is there anything I should be taking to supplement it since I don't have a uterus? And my second question is, I do a lot of activity and I'm dropping my weight, but whenever I don't do that level of activity, I just start creeping up again, and I won't be able to keep this up as I age. And is that just my lot in
Yeah.
life, basically?
No, here's the thing. Activity, exercise, physical work is responsible for about 15% of your weight loss. The food is the 85%, the diet part. So I think, do as much as you can, but if you wanted to increase more weight loss, um, it sounds like you're on keto, but now you have to
Yeah.
do longer fasts. So you fast longer, and that's going to be very important in your restoring your metabolism, so you don't have to work so hard. going into menopause or later, because things become tougher and tougher and tougher. So you want to leverage your own hormones by keeping your base insulin as low as possible. To do that, you practice fasting on a regular basis and try to do periodic prolonged fasting. That will speed up your metabolism versus the other way, which is frequent meals, small meals, low calories, low nutrients will actually slow your metabolism down. One of the best nutrients to take if you're missing a uterus is to take something, it's a product from Standard Process. You can look it up. It's called Utrophin PMG. Utrophin PMG. That tends to give your body what it's been missing. Did they leave the ovaries? Okay, I'm just assuming they did. Yeah, that's what you need, Utrophin PMG. So try those things, Marie. Are you there, Marie?
Yes, I am. Yes, Utrophin
Okay.
PMG.
And did you still have your ovaries?
I still have the ovaries, yes.
Good. Then I think that's all you need to do. I think you'll be very, very happy with that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Doc, how about we kick it off with our first question just so we can stay on time? And the first question is, what is the primary symptom of low salt in the body? Primary symptom of low salt in the body.
First symptom, Steve.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
What's the what's the first thing that shows up when you're low in salt?
All right.
Okay, it's a little bit different question. Drop my pen. I'll just get another one. So yeah, what's the first symptom of a low salt in your diet situation?
All right. Hit it, world. And by the way, speaking of the world, why don't we go through our wonderful list of people that are interested in this show and gaining its living benefits.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Denmark, Canada, UK, Mesopotamia, Cameroon, Spain, France, Egypt, India, Mexico. Thank you, Mexico, for
Can't
chiming
hear you,
in there.
Steve, but that's fine.
Oh my God, can you hear me? No hearing? Testing 1, 2, 3. I tell you what, Doc. Matter of fact, audience, stand by for just a moment, and we're going to correct a little issue, and we'll be right back with the Dr. Berg Show. Stand by.
Back. We were on a roll there for a while. We had no technical difficulties for at least 1 week.
Yeah, isn't
So,
that
then
unbelievable? And I couldn't
had
handle
to
it, so
pop up there.
I threw a brick through the screen and started up again. Anyway, our phone system is one of the most magical pieces of technical apparatus in the world, but it sometimes misbehaves. And since Doc's remote, he's victim to that system as well. So, Doc, I can't remember where we were. Oh, we're going to have some quiz questions, and we were just letting everybody know how delighted we were with them listening around the world. So that's fantastic. And let's see, why don't you move on with another caller, Doc?
Well, Catherine's been waiting from South Carolina. Are you there, Catherine?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Catherine.
Hello, Dr. Berg.
Go ahead, Catherine. You had a question about your no gallbladder in menopause. Are you there? I'll just assume that you can, that was your question. So you don't have a gallbladder, they took it out, obviously, going through menopause, and you want to do keto. What do you do? Are you there?
Yes,
Some
I'm there.
background.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Go ahead. What was your question?
Yes. Actually, I have a few problems going on that I'm hoping that you can help me with. I know that you can help me with. Yes, I do. I had my gallbladder taken out in 1997. Had I known now, back then what I know now, I would never had it done. But, moving on, since then I have had a horrible bout of GERD to the point where I did not want to live anymore. The GERD was just like continuous, along with kidney stones, and one kidney stone in particular that had been in my kidney for 10 years, and I didn't know it was there. I thought I had passed it that many years ago, and it grew to the size of like 8 centimeters. And back and forth to a different doctor, and the doctor would tell me, well, you've even got scarring, what looked like scarring or calcium deposits on my thyroid, and told me that I would have to be on, of course, a medication for the rest of my life to help with the GERD. One day I started questioning all this could not be natural, so started looking on YouTube, and I thank God he blessed me to find you, and ever since I've been watching. I have been off the medication for about a year and a half. Started drinking the apple cider vinegar. I do nutritional yeast every morning. Started back with my keto again. But then menopause comes in, and now I don't know if it's the menopause, it started at 45, which seemed to me a little bit young to start. But I'm just wondering, is there anything else I can do? Because I do have issues where I'm not sure if it's low stomach acid anymore, or if it is a UTI of some sort going on with, the combination of menopause and thyroid issues and all that. But I'll have hot flashes, but they're always preceded by nausea, extreme nausea, to the point where it's hard for me to eat and get in the nutrition that I need. So I'm wondering what I need to do.
Well, you gave me a big clue, because nauseousness is a classic symptom of gallbladder. Now, you don't have a gallbladder, so what's happening is you have low bile, so you need more bile salts. There's a product I have called Gallbladder Formula that I would recommend taking both after a meal and between meals on an empty stomach, because you need more of that bile to help pull in more of the fat-soluble vitamins that are the transporters. They help work with minerals like calcium to make sure the calcium doesn't accumulate in the wrong place, because for example, vitamin K2 inhibits kidney stones, inhibits calcium from building up on the joints and the arteries. On the thyroid is calcification. So
Okay.
the problem is, if you take K2, it's not going to work because you don't have the bile to absorb it. So
Okay, I've been taking vitamin D3 and K2 for the past 2 years. Your formula. And so that may be very well why I'm not getting the results that I want.
Here's an
because
analogy.
of the gallbladder.
Right. Here's an analogy. Let's say you have a garden and you want to grow a plant. You want to grow tomatoes, whatever. And there's not enough fungi and bacteria in the soil. There's not enough microorganism. So then the plant cannot absorb the minerals. So that would be an example of another. You have the minerals in the soil, but they're not soluble. They're not readily available. So in your body, you need, of course, the right amount of stomach acid. You need bile salts. You need enzymes that your pancreas makes. But since you don't have a gallbladder, the most obvious thing is, wow, you need bile salts and you need a good amount. I think that's going to solve a lot of problems for you. I would focus on that, and then rather than start to take more of this or more of that, just add that one thing for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and then see how you do. Okay? All right.
Well, I tell you what, how about we answer a question, Doc, and we misstated
Yes.
it, and we're going to fix that right now. So what is the first symptom of low body salt, or salt in the body, excuse me? And our survey says 50% leg cramps, 20% say salt cravings, 20% say fatigue or weakness, and 10% say heart palpitation. Got any winners, Doc?
Okay, so the first symptom, you're all correct, but the first symptom would be weakness. Weakness. And why that is, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, is that sodium is necessary for heart contractibility. And so if you can't contract the heart, you can't pump. You can't pump oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, so you start becoming weaker. The other thing that sodium does, it's involved in that sodium-potassium pump that generates electrical activity for the muscle and the nerve. So if your electrical activity, your voltage goes down, it's like turning the dimmer switch down. And the last thing is that sodium directly affects the mitochondria, which is the energy factory. So you're just going to have, yes, you're going to be fatigued, but you're going to be just kind of weaker because your muscles are not as activated. So if you have weakness, rather than going getting an expensive test to find out what it is, simply add more sea salt to the diet. And if your energy goes up, you know that was it. Simple solution. And an average person needs at least 1 teaspoon of sea salt a day. Himalayan's good, but there's other ones too that are good too. The gray salts. There's a lot of different salts that you can get, different colors, which we'll talk more about as we do the show. All right, Steve, we're going to go right to Cindy from Hagertown, Maryland. Cindy, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great.
Okay, my daughter had pancreatic cancer last year. She had surgery, and they did a Whipple procedure. The doctor said it was hormonal, the reason she got it. Well, she's having problems absorbing iron, so we're having to have iron infusions. How can we correct that?
I'm not sure exactly what's happening to her body because I know the immune system is compromised. It could be the spleen, for example. So she might not be extracting enough iron. One thing I would want her to do is start taking some spleen extract. It's a glandular extract that you can find online, which is loaded with bioavailable iron, and see if that doesn't help her. You also need a very, very acidic stomach to absorb iron. So it also could be that her stomach pH is too alkaline. So the real simple solution is betaine hydrochloride. You take that, and then she'll start to pull in and use iron a lot more. Those are a couple things I would do. And I'm really excited that it's been a year. That's fantastic.
Yes, she's had always been anemic, and they thought it was due to the cancer, but she's still having the same problem absorbing iron.
Tell you what, this is what I would do. Get that spleen extract. Also, look online for a product called Zypan. It's from Standard Process. I used to recommend it when I was in practice, but that has not only the betaine hydrochloride, but it also has something called the intrinsic factor that allows her to inhibit her anemia. I think that would actually be a really good solution, especially if she had pancreatic cancer, because the pancreas is part of the digestive process. So it's called Zypan. Okay, so try that. and let me know if that helps her.
Sounds great. How about some social media, Doc?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is from Facebook. Susan, she's drinking sufficient water, but she says her breath smells strongly of ammonia, which of course is concerning. Not acetone. My protein is 74 grams per day, and I rarely exceed it. I'm nearly at my goal. Should I be concerned? What can we do for Susan?
Well, I think that ammonia is it's something in the body that is a byproduct of protein. It's a breakdown product, and if it tends to be a little too high in the liver, especially in keto, that usually tells us that we need to go up on some of the other things, especially the leafy greens, as in salads. So I would beef up, no pun intended, your salads and your vegetables, and then just up the water a little bit more. Okay?
Okay, that sounds great. And
That's
then
what I
from YouTube, Baskey wants to know how he can get rid of excess lactic acid.
Yeah, lactic acid is a byproduct of your body's metabolism in the mitochondria. And so the best way to get rid of it is to take vitamin B1 through nutritional yeast. And also to make sure that you're not doing any sugar, because too much sugar will lead to lactic acidosis or too much generation of lactic acid. Our lactobacillus microbes also make lactic acid, but in your case, I think some B1 from nutritional yeast should solve your problem pretty simply.
Well, that's terrific. And why don't we kick off the next question? And Dr. Berg asked the audience, is aluminum in bentonite clay toxic? That's a good question.
See, bentonite clay works like a magnet to pull things out of the body, like heavy metals, pesticides, toxins, microbes. It helps to decrease bacterial loads. It gets rid of the toxins from candida, all sorts of things, right? It's good for leaky gut. It's good for bloating. It's good as a nice detoxer. But the way that it does it, in fact, the main method is through its very powerful negative charge from aluminum. So you have aluminum and silica that are in that clay that is acting as a magnet. So the people are wanting to know, like, what about that aluminum? I mean, is that toxic? So that is the question. Tell me what you think, and then we'll answer the question. I want you guys to, this is called interactions. It's my way of kind of interacting with you, and also to get you to think. All right, Steve, we're going to go to Chaz from Tennessee.
Great idea.
Hi, Chaz.
Hey, how's it going, doctor?
Great, thanks.
So my question is, what would you recommend for somebody who is experiencing the long-haul COVID symptoms?
Yeah. So one thing that increases the duration of that infection is not enough zinc, not enough vitamin D, not enough vitamin C. So I think the best way to shorten the duration of that infection is to make sure you have the right nutrients. Definitely make sure you go low carb. But the biggest factor is fasting. If you do periodic intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting, that will actually really, really, really help you. In fact, if you have any type of illness, that is what you need to do. And then the last thing would be to, actually there's two more things. One is to try to get more sleep. And then the last thing, which would be to reduce stress. But let me explain this because people say, well, yeah, I'm not really stressed out. But yeah, if you're in a situation where you're, it's usually around like a personality type that's kind of just stressing you out, that infection just will not go away, regardless of what infection it is. So I found many different times these infections linger a lot longer if you're under this kind of this stress from something, usually a person that you're connected to. So that's the area I would focus on improving and doing something to improve it, and that will help you. In fact, happened to me. I was for years, like I had this chronic infection, and was not getting better until I dealt with something related to that, and it was like almost instantly I felt a lot better.
Wow, that's
All right,
fantastic.
thanks for your question.
So, Doc, speaking of fasting, I heard you bring that up in that call. If I might, my brother, who is 3 years older than me, he's 70 years old, sent me a YouTube video, some 60-year-old guy skateboarding and swooping around, and how great was that? And then a week later, I get a call that he shattered his ankle at 70 on a skateboard. The fibia, tibia, and then the ankle bone are all squashed. And when he first went to the hospital, his leg was purple. His foot was swollen and completely purple, and the doctors were really worried that this might mean that there's a lack of blood flow in there, and they were concerned. My brother's a big fan of yours, has followed you for years, and so he started fasting. He fasted for 3 days, and when he went back, they were shocked that his swelling had gone down completely, and most of the discoloration had gone down. So that's fantastic. Now, they didn't put his foot in a cast or do the surgery yet because they want the swelling to go down, and they're going to operate him on Wednesday. And he wants to know, next Wednesday, he wants to fast once again because he's had such great results with it, and wants your advice on what he can do as he moves towards surgery, fasting or whatever else, so that he can get through that in the most healthy fashion. And he thanks you in advance for your advice, well, not advice, but your counsel or suggestions.
You know, it's counter. So that was probably the smartest thing he did for that. In fact, if you're going into a surgery, of course, they always tell you to fast 24 hours before or 12 hours before, I'm not sure. But the point is that I would fast longer before the surgery, and that way you're adapting. Hi, Idris, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Oh, hi, doctor. How are you, sir? Thank you for calling, answering. My name is Evie. I started keto in March 24th. I've been doing counting macros. I've been doing 16 days intermittent fasting. Then 3 days ago, I started 24, and I still don't see any weight loss, and I don't know what else do I need to do.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes, I can wait longer periods without that wave of hunger.
Okay, good. So that right there, that one question tells me it's starting to work. Second question, are you craving less sweets and carbs?
No,
You still crave?
no, I don't.
Okay, you don't. Good. Third question, is your energy going up?
I'm sorry, I barely can hear you.
Okay, is your energy going higher?
Well, yes, but at some point of the day, for example, when I'm getting close into the 24 hours period, I usually eat at 2 p.m. or 2:30, like around 11, I start feeling this weakness, like I'm about to die, but I'm not.
Okay, and then the other question I have is your clothes around your waist starting to feel looser?
No, that's the problem, and I've been trying to measure. The only thing that I seem positive is that my blood pressure dropped so much that I actually stopped taking. I used to take 2 pills. Now I take half of 1 pill at night. That's how good it is, my blood pressure. That's the only change that I've seen, but no weight change, no change on my waistline, and I'm like worried.
Okay, so here's the thing. You ready for this? Are you sitting down?
I'm sorry?
Are you sitting down?
Yes, I'm sitting down.
Okay. It's not lose weight to get healthy. It's get healthy to lose weight. You're in the process of getting healthy. This is why we call you a patient, because you have to have patience, right? And we put you in a waiting room. Just kidding. But the point is that I think it's working. It's just not working fast enough. Don't stop what you're doing. Give it more time. The fact that these things are happening means that it's positive. It's a good
Okay.
thing. Now,
Okay.
as far as speeding it up, what we can do to speed it up, in addition to waiting, because it does take about 3 months to actually become. Actually, it could take 4 weeks to 12 weeks, 3 months, to be fully fat adapted. So you may be the person that it takes 3 months.
Okay.
However, I think I would lower your carbohydrates even more. There's a video that I've done called Keto on Steroids. You can look that up. Be a little more strict. The other thing is make sure you're taking all the nutrients, especially sea salt, a little sea salt. And then if you get to the point where your blood pressure, I think, comes down to close to normal, get with your doctor to see if you need any medication at all, because the least amount of medication is going to be good for you. The other point I want to bring up is that try to sleep more, try to lower your stress more, try to get more exercise,
Okay.
and then just watch my videos on Plateau.
Okay.
This is the week I will release my new booklet, and you can have it free. Everyone's going to have it free. It's a download that I spent a lot of time into going through every possible reason why you might not be losing weight, and you're going to have to read that book very soon. So stay tuned. If you're on my email list, you'll be able to get it. And by the way,
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. You'll get it. So
all right.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All of you who are watching right now or listening in, I just want to let you know I do have trained health coaches as well. If you can't get on and talk to me, you can talk to my health coaches anytime. You go to my website, drberg.com. You can go there when we're done, and then there's a number at the top. You can call, and it's free, and you can ask any question that you want. And,
okay.
I train them, and this way you can. They're available for you. So.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Steve. Do we have an answer to the last question?
Yes, we do. Stand by in between all of our stuff. By the way, your mic doesn't appear to be on, you poor guy, with all those technical difficulties. I don't know if you can, while I'm answering this question, we can hear you, but it's quite faint. Let's see.
Okay.
So stand by. Oh, here we go. Let's see. No, I think I've got it. And forgive me, we're running a little behind here. Oh, here we go. Quiz number 2, and quiz number 2 asks, is aluminum and bentonite clay toxic? And 95% say no, 5% say yes, That sounds like a trend. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, no, and fortunately, it's not toxic because it's so locked in with that silica that it will not leach out in your body. It only acts as a magnet to pull out poisons, not put them in. So that's the good news, Steve. Bentonite clay is a very great remedy, and I will be putting a video out more on that, which is actually just interesting, especially if you have certain toxicities.
No kidding. And how would you consume that?
You just take it, and they come in tablets or a powder, and you can just take it. It's take it on an empty stomach, and it works like a charm.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, Doc, so we've still got the phones working. You're a little light on the air, but we can hear you just fine now. So why don't you go to another call?
Let's go to, is it Nadia? Nadia, are you there?
Yes, hi. Hi, Dr.
Hi.
Berg. How are you doing?
Great, thanks.
So you have helped me a lot in so many ways. Thank you so much. I've been on keto for quite some time now. Right now, I am diabetic type 2, and my doctor just ran some tests, and she found that I have a severe pancreatic insufficiency. So she suggested to lower my fat by stopping keto, and also she suggested to put me on pancreatic enzymes. So my question is, what do you think about, I have no idea about the pancreatic enzymes, the prescribed ones. Should I take the prescribed ones or just the ones over the counter? So.
Okay, so question I have for you is why did she not want you to do keto?
Because she said that I have to be low in fat consumption because my pancreas can't break down the fat. So
Okay.
yeah.
Here's the thing you need to realize. Pancreas, the enzymes in the pancreas only are part of the answer because when you eat fats, in order for that fat to be broken down, the first step is the bile salts, which I think you need to take bile salts, take the gallbladder formula, and that's going to take the fat and break it down into smaller particles. Now the lipase enzymes from the pancreas can do their job, but they won't be able to do their job unless the bile is there. I think that's what you're missing, and those purified bile salts. And then as far as an enzyme goes, you can get something from online or a health food store. They have all sorts of different blends of different enzymes, which are great. Get a higher quality one, and I think that would be smart. But as far as, see, people think keto is a high-fat diet. Keto is a low-carb diet. You can do a low-carb and just not add a bunch of fat. But I wouldn't try to avoid fat because it's going to create another problem. I don't think that's the solution. I think you should do keto, and I think that you should do it just the healthy version, and add purified bile salts.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I am taking the gallbladder formula, your gallbladder formula, actually, and I take it after meals. But what I can see, the moment I take it, it causes me a lot of pain on my stomach and diarrhea.
Okay, so what that means is you are low in stomach acids. Do you know what triggers the pancreas to release its enzymes? Stomach acid. Because what I want to know is why isn't your pancreas releasing the enzymes? That's the big question. Well, in order to do it, you have to have the stomach acid. So I think I would get some betaine hydrochloride, and that would stimulate your pancreas to start working better. And then for right now, hold off with the bile salts until you get the stomach working a little bit better. Then you can slowly maybe add some in. But anytime you have diarrhea, that means that the bile salts are going through you. But I think with you need more of the acid to be able to have everything, because you got acid, bile, and enzymes. Those three together. If you're low on one of them, it could mean you need these other parts right here. So I think that's what you're missing. Go ahead and try that, and then call me next week and tell me how it goes. Okay. All right.
All right, Doc. How about another question? All really interesting
Yep.
this week. Okay, is fungus a part of our gut flora? So does fungus belong in our gut?
Yes. Go. And then you skipped a question there, but that's fine, Steve. You can come back to it next time. But on my list, we'll focus on the fungus among us right now. Okay, Steve?
All right, sounds great. And then you'll read that other one for us. I think I don't have it up here. So once we get past the fungus, let's go to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how about you go back to a phone call, and then I'll get some social media up.
Calabi is from Ottawa, Canada. Been waiting patiently. Had a question about diabetes and high cholesterol.
Hi there. Hi.
Hi.
Doctor, I have been diagnosed with diabetes for more than 15 years. And in December 2019, I watched one of your videos and I decided to cut all the medication and start keto without fruit. And thank you very much. It helped me a lot. My A1C was controlled to 5.6, 5.7. And I was doing that till last few months when I visited doctor, and we find out that I have high cholesterol, HDL high, LDL high, triglyceride high. And because of my family history about heart stroke, while I was fighting with him, and he convinced me to take statin, and he gave me 0.1, the lowest dose. Then I took that and I did the CT cardiac scan, and I found out that my calcification is 35. And I'm wondering right now, what shall I do? I suppose that my calcification was higher before I started my keto and my intermittent fasting. But for now, I should keep taking the statin, or shall I cut on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I personally cannot tell you not to take it or to take it because that's beyond my scope. But I would start just watching my videos and also the videos of other keto doctors who are cardiologists, and they talk about statins and the dangers of statins and what it's going to block your cholesterol. The other thing is, like, the test that you need to get is an advanced lipid profile test to measure the two different types of LDL.
Yes.
It's called
Yes.
pattern A, pattern B. Did you do that?
Yes, I do. I see that, and I find I did a search, and actually one of your videos, there is a small molecule and a large molecule. The one I have is the large one, the most one.
Good. Guess what? That's healthy. That's happened to have my wife too. So if you have the large molecule, that means it cannot invade the wall of the artery. It just floats through the system. So that is the safe one that's not connected to any pathologies. So, I mean, it sounds like you actually have a normal process. You have a normal body right now, and it's not a pathogenic issue. But I think the best thing to do is to find a cardiologist that's more keto friendly. And there's several of them that I've done interviews with, because you want someone that has enough knowledge in the alternatives, not just the traditional thing. So that's what I would recommend. All right.
All right, Doc.
And,
let's see.
yeah.
Why don't we go real quickly to social media? So, just a moment. Let's see. All right, here we go. So on Facebook, Lisa says she's craved salt for years and is always thirsty. Why? I have gotten better recently and drink your electrolytes 2 times a day. Additionally, how many times a day should I take your electrolytes? When I back off to 1 or 2 doses a day, I get leg cramps. Any advice? Boy, Lisa's sure trying hard.
Well, I think there's certain people that need more electrolytes than others, and I think if you want to find the right amount, and so you want to maybe increase it until the leg cramps go away, and that's what you need. Maybe it's 3 dosage per day. Just make sure that when you go up with that, you also add more sea salt to the mix, and then that way you'll be more hydrated. I think the other thing is to add more vegetables in the diet too. So there's a lot of different factors, but some people need more nutrients than others. But that's what I would do if I were you.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've got some answers back on is fungus part of our gut flora? And 75% say yes, 25% say no. Doc, who's right?
Okay, so you do have friendly fungus in your body, okay? I mean, the soil has friendly fungus. And in the body, when you take an antibiotic, you only kill the bacteria, not the fungus. The bacteria is keeping the fungus in check so it doesn't become out of control. The beneficial function of the fungus is to help in making certain acids to prevent pathologies, helping you absorb nutrients. They have a lot of benefit. But when you kill the bacteria and there's nothing to oppose the growth of fungus, then you get what's called an overgrowth of fungus. Thrush candida, which is a yeast, but it's a baby fungus. Okay, so this is why when you have antibiotics, you get yeast infections as a side effect. So there is a friendly yeast that you should take if you ever take an antibiotic at the same time as you're taking it to prevent this overgrowth. And stay tuned next week for that video on that topic. But yes, you need fungus. The soil, the plants needs fungus, and when you don't have fungus, you don't have the solubility factors of the minerals in the soil that then get pulled up into the plant.
Now that's interesting, Doc. Okay, why don't we go back to the missing quiz question, which asks, which food has the highest amount of selenium? So we want to put that out to the audience. And then, Doc, why don't you scoot back to the phones and let's see what the audience has to say.
Yeah, let's go to Raphael from California. Are you there, Raphael?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Berg. Been doing keto and OMAD for over a year now. Taking your blood sugar support, thinking that I have insulin resistance, but for some reason, my weight loss has already plateaued, and I just want to ask for advice. What's a good recourse for this?
Okay. How long are you fasting for?
How long? 24, 26.
Okay.
Somewhere there.
And when you get to that 1 meal a day, are you hungry for that meal, or are you just eating just because you eat? I want to know about your appetite.
I get hungry around 24 to 26 hours.
Is it the type of hunger that makes you weak and irritable? Does it change your mood or your energy at all?
Not really weak. As a matter of fact, after my workout, I don't feel hungry, but I just said I'm just telling myself probably it's already 24 hours, then it's time for me to eat.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the rule of thumb. You don't want to eat unless you're hungry, but I want to explain what that means, hunger, because I'm not just talking about I'm hungry, I'm talking about you're hungry plus you have mood changes, plus you have a drop in energy. Because the hunger is activated by ghrelin, which is a hormone that goes on a wave. So this is why people have hunger waves. And what you should be doing is ignoring those hunger waves. And that way you can, they go away. And it's not necessarily that you need to eat, it's just that the hormone is on a wave. And so I think I would go longer and let your body fast longer so you can just focus on more weight loss, because eating doesn't take weight off. It's the fasting that will help you take the weight off in a very rapid level. So I would kind of ride the wave and go 2 days, maybe even 3 days, and just play by ear, take your nutrients, and see if you can manage that. And that's when you'll really start fixing the insulin resistance. And then now your metabolism is so much better. So do that.
All right, that
But
sounds
thank you so much.
All right, let's get the answer to what food has the most selenium. And 55% say Brazil nuts, 25% say oysters or shellfish, and 20% say yummy eggs. I love the eggs.
Okay, the answer is Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts. I mean, one nut has more selenium than anything out there. Now, it is true that the selenium is actually in seafood, but not as much as the Brazil nut. So, I mean, zinc is high in seafood, like oysters specifically, but when you have one Brazil nut a day, you have enough selenium the whole day. So, I would recommend on a regular basis taking one organic Brazil nut every single day to get your selenium, which is very important in thyroid, in antioxidants, and making glutathione for your liver. Like, there's a lot of things. I will be doing a video on that as well. All right.
All right, speaking of videos, let's let them know what's coming up. So in the upcoming videos, a week or so, what is CoQ10 good for? We're going to find out. The friendly fungus that lives in your gut, he's going to expand on that a little bit more. Why should you eat one Brazil nut a day? Bet you can't eat just one. Vegetables and virtually zero net carbs. Vegetables with virtually zero net carbs. That's a good one to know. The 9 causes of the weird taste in your mouth. And that young lady, Susan, I believe, had asked that earlier. So those are some exciting videos. And Dr. Berg doesn't charge a dime for this great information that helps us all live so much healthier. And with that, I think we've got one last question as well. And that is, what is the primary difference between pink and gray sea salt? So, audience, bring it up before the end of the show, and we'll have left you with a lot of great answers and information. So, Dr. Berg, why don't you hit a call?
Let's go to Deanna from New Jersey.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Dr. Berg. How are you?
Great.
I'm calling because I'm 43 years old, and I had just started keto not too long ago. Then I found out that I was borderline diabetic, and also that I had fibroid tumors. So I like keto. I bought all your supplements, the keto starting kit. I bought it for my brother and his wife, my other brother and his wife, and my father and my mother. Like, I'm trying to get everybody keto, to be a keto family. But I'm struggling because with the fibroid tumors, my menstrual lasts for almost a month, and then I get like a 3 or 4 day break, and then it comes back. And the cravings are terrible, the pain is terrible, so I just don't know where to begin and what to do. And I do intermittent fast, but at times I can't because I'm just like, I got to eat because I have to take some Motrin, I have to, like, I'm uncomfortable, I'm bloated. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, that could be very uncomfortable. So I have a question for you. Are you doing any dairy?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
No milk and no yogurt, but I love cheese. I love cheese on everything.
Hey, I do too. I'm from Wisconsin. Unfortunately, you're going to have to put that to the side for a while because in the cheese there's all these growth factors, and they tend to, we want to avoid growth factors, hormones that are it's called anabolic, that make things get bigger. And so
cheese is filled with
you want to avoid anything dairy right now because that's going to act as a hormone to enlarge the fibroid. We're trying to shrink it. The foods that will starve off the blood supply to that tumor would be all the cruciferous, kale, broccoli, bok choy, arugula, cauliflower, cabbage. Those are the foods that you need to eat. In fact, I don't know. I have even a video called "The Best Foods for Fibroids." You should probably watch that one as well. The biggest thing is the insulin, though. Insulin makes things get bigger, but you're on the keto, so that's helping you. The other thing you want to watch out for is any type of soy in your diet, and it's hidden in so many different things. So I think you have part of the answer. You just need to take it one step further and really suppress the
berries.
that
Number
fibroid.
2,
I will
garlic.
also
3,
release a video. I'm going to
cauliflower.
put a note down
4,
here.
tomato.
I actually
5,
did a
onion.
last week
6,
or the week before. I did a
broccoli
video on
sprouts.
fibroids. I
7,
just didn't release it. I'll
peppermint.
release it
You can do that
tomorrow or
in
the
tea
next day,
or blended with certain foods.
and you can check
Number 8,
that out.
shallots,
It's
which are like
a
these
very
baby
good
little
video
onions. And then we
that
have
you need
peanuts,
to
which will give
learn
you some
about.
resveratrol.
All right.
All right,
Can also
Dr.
be found
Berg, I
Awesome.
tell you what, why don't we, we're having, again, some feedback and stuff. Why don't we wrap the show for this week? We encourage those folks that are on the air to call us back. We're going to be looking for you, Deanna and Amy. Next week, please call back in. We're going to make you first on the call. And, Doc, if you would, let's wrap it up, and we'll be all healed up by next week.
Okay, the answer to the question, the pink salt has more iron than the gray salt. Okay, that's really the big difference. And on that note, have a wonderful week and stay tuned for more videos. I will talk to you guys next week.